Really? Was he high? And so, did y'all leave or you stay? You were? With the man? So, what'd you do? You beat him up? Did you give him the finger? That's so crazy, huh? Yeah. So he was one of the parking enforcers? Security guy or something. Wow. Welcome to the church. I am Jesse Peterson. Thank you so much for being with me. You can get involved by going to our chat line, and I can take your questions and comments. Also, happy Easter. Today is Easter. And happy Easter to everybody here. Amazing. And thank you all for coming. It is amazing. First-time visitors. Any? Oh, amazing. Is it your first time? Oh, hold on a minute. Where'd you come from and what's your name?
So my name is Isaac Hurtado. I came here from Simi Valley with my friend Gabriel right here.
Right on.
Yep.
Thank you for coming. Any questions about anything before I get rolling here?
I just I've watched I seen you on YouTube and I really like your content, so I'm grateful I could be here in person.
Oh, good. Thank you, man.
A little bit. Yep.
So you hate women too?
Oh, no, I can't say that because I love my mom too much.
Oh, man. Don't tell anybody. So any questions or disagreements or anything?
Not right now. That coming to mind.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Well,
grateful
welcome,
to be
man.
here.
All right. Right here.
We're from Sacramento.
From Sacramento?
Yeah.
Really? What's your name?
Armin Johnston.
Oh, welcome. How did you find us?
My dad from on YouTube watched it all the time.
Right on. How old are you?
15.
Oh, 15. Any questions about anything?
No, sir.
Okay. Any disagreements?
No, sir.
All right. Well, welcome, all right? Okay. If anything pop up, let me know.
All right.
Thank you for coming. You're the father?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, what's your name?
Brian Johnston.
Brian, thanks for coming, man. Any questions or disagreements or anything?
No disagreements, but I am, well, we've been listening to you. I have my sons listening. We're about 4 years now, and we just love you and so thankful. You changed my life. But I am one of the exceptions to fighting in the courts. I've had my sons 100% for about 5 years now.
Oh, good. So you went to court for them?
Yeah.
And it was good. So you won?
Yeah.
Oh, and where is she now?
Who knows?
Oh, good.
She'd come into the courts like a fake Bible thumper, holding her Bible and preaching and acting like, but behind closed doors was drugs, prostitution, bad stuff.
Oh, man. Well, I'm glad you got your boys.
Yeah.
Right on. Any question or disagreement? Okay. Well, thank you for coming. I like your shirt, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing shirt.
It is.
Yes, sir. What's your name?
Anthony Johnston.
And so you're the brother.
Yeah.
And how old are you, Anthony?
16.
Right on. Any questions about anything?
No, I'm just happy to be here.
Right on. You glad that you're with your father?
Yeah.
Right on, man. Good. Well, if anything, any question, let me know, all right?
All right, I will.
Okay. Good, man. Right here. This is your first time, right?
First time at church?
Yeah. We had an amazing men's forum last week. Y'all missed it, ladies. So tell me your name again and where you're from.
My name's Garrett. I'm from San Antonio, Texas.
Right on. Any question about anything?
No, sir.
All right. Well, thank you for coming, all right?
It's great to be here, and it's the most important day of our faith, I think,
Today is?
today.
And why is that?
Jesus rose from the tomb,
Oh,
after
yeah.
3 days. Remember?
I forgot. Oh, yeah, it is, man. It's an amazing day. You're right. James, where did you go this past weekend?
Yucca Valley.
And then you tell me you saw Jesus. You
Yeah.
saw Jesus burial place.
Yeah, we went to the Desert Christ Park over there, and there was a sculptor who sculpted a tomb, an empty tomb with Mary and Mary Magdalene, and then the ladies going over on Easter Sunday morning and seeing the empty tomb.
They're gonna sing to the empty tomb.
Yeah, they saw the empty tomb.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
But that's the fake one.
How do you know?
The real one is in Israel.
Right.
That's how I know. We went to the real one.
Nice.
Amazing. Anybody else first timers? Right here, right? Tell us your name and where you're from.
I'm Greg, and I'm from Detroit.
Right on. Any questions or anything?
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Just
Good
wanted to
meeting
say-
you Thursday night, huh?
Yeah, just want to say thank you for everything.
Right on. Right on, man. Right here. And tell us your name and where you're from.
Travis from Detroit.
From Detroit.
Yes.
Any questions, Travis, about anything?
No questions.
All right. Well, thank you for coming, all right?
No, thank you.
All right. So, any questions, anyone? Last night I was flipping through the TV trying to find like one of those Bible stories, movie kind of things. They have the best ones during Easter time, right? And so I read up on the 10 Commandments. Anybody ever seen that? If you have not seen the Ten Commandments, make sure you watch it. It has Elizabeth Taylor and Charlton. It's very, very, very good. So make sure you check it out. And while I was flipping through the TV, I saw people like Kenneth Copeland and a lot of those TV preaching people. Y'all ever heard of Kenneth Copeland and all them? Yeah, and I remember being introduced to them when I was at Crenshaw Christian Center over in South Central. I used to go to church over there, and they were really good friends with Fred Price and others. But I had forgotten about them until I was flipping through the TV, and I'm like, wow, where these men been? And what I realized is that they don't do anything. They have big churches with a whole bunch of folks going, right? But all they do is teach the Bible and praise the Lord, and I think they kind of go around, and not only Kenton, but other preachers like them. A bunch of them I saw as I was flipping that. It reminded me of them, and I'm thinking it's no wonder Christianity is going to hell in a handbasket, because all they do is sit in church and preach the Bible and sing songs and amen. And the churches are big and they are packed with Christians, but they have no power at all. I don't see them out there dealing with life. You know what I'm saying? If they were out there dealing with life, we would have America back real fast. But they are not doing it. They're not out there fighting against Satan's children. All this stuff, LTB. Yeah, they are not fighting against that. They are not fighting against Black Lives Matter. They need to be out there. They need to come out of those churches and get involved with what's happening in the world. They need to get involved in politics. God never meant for us to just sit around in a church and just read the Bible and do amen and sing songs and leave. What's the purpose of having power if you're not going to put it to work? You know what I mean? Because they're using evil to shut down the country. And there are a lot of Christians just not involved. It's the craziest thing I ever seen. It's like those are Pharisees. They dress like preachers, and the people the same way. They're dumb too. They don't do anything. What's the purpose? Why know God if you're still going to be defeated in life? You know what I mean? But and the churches are packed, and there are black churches like that too. They don't do anything. Nothing. It's like, and I forgot, we can win this war if all these people come out of the churches, show up at city council meetings, get involved. Greater is he that's in us than he that's in them, right? But the Christians are so nice. Oh, praise the Lord. And they're setting up churches around the world. Why? It was crazy to see that. I forgot about those folks. Did you have your hand? Right here? Okay. And I think I'll come to you, too.
Just kind of to dovetail on this point is, I was listening to a sermon from a Bible teaching pastor on YouTube, John MacArthur up at Grace Community Church up in the Valley. And his message of this sermon that was from Palm Sunday was, it's over for the nation. We're under judgment, and it's too late for the nation.
It is over because they're not going to do anything.
So I just wanted kind of maybe your views on it. It's over for the nation, but it's not over for individuals. Meaning, the people can still be saved, but the nation, it's too late.
How will the people be saved?
Well, according to his teaching, it would be, they would believe in Christ, confess their faith, repent, and be baptized and be saved.
And
Well, that's the point. I mean, so that they would sit around in church, right? And then he's a Calvinist. He believes in the elect, meaning that only certain people will be saved, and everybody else is damned, right? God just chooses who he chooses.
But it's insane to just sit around in a church and not get involved. You're supposed to let your light shine so that those who are lost can see the way. And just imagine if all those churches were to come out to rallies and run for office and start speaking out. It used to be that way when Jerry Falwell and those guys were around. They were out protesting and calling out the homosexuals, and the homosexuals hated them, and they were involved. But once Jerry Falwell and all those guys,
I don't get personally how
died off, then Kenneth Copeland and all those guys, they kind of went underground or something.
I don't get how if God gave us government as part of his plan, right? He gave governments as a way of restraining evil, and that he expected Christians would be involved in government. That what happened that all of a sudden that the Christians said, we're going to just preach the Bible, no longer get involved in the world. We're just going to preach the Bible. I don't get that. Why aren't we as Christians going, hey, God gave us government, we're supposed to be involved in the government,
That's
just
right,
like
because
everything else.
Now that they're taking the Christians out of the government, look at the laws that they have and all kind of crazy stuff. And they hate the Christians. And they make rules that put the Christians in jail if you say anything, right? I wonder what they do though after church. Where do they go?
Applebee's.
And then all week, what are they doing? I never see them in the news. I never see them protesting. I never see them out standing up for anything. I'm like, what are they doing all week? You can only eat at IHOP for an hour. What do you do after that? You know what I mean? It's the craziest thing I ever seen. Maybe I get them on the radio show to ask them, what do y'all do? During the week.
I think they just...
because I don't see them out and about anywhere either. There's a
they're
whole
just
bunch of white people
sitting around arguing about doctrine.
We need to get the white folks. Right? So what?
Sitting around arguing about biblical doctrine.
Around where?
Bible studies.
At the house?
Yeah. At the church, and at Applebee's.
That's not fun.
Outback too. That's once a month.
And going to Bible class and all that. right here, and then I'll come to you. Yeah, just think about that. We are sons of God, right? Greater is He that's in us than he that's in the world. And you're right, the world, God created the world for us, and we're just, well, not me, but they're just giving it away. It doesn't even make sense to me. It just, yes, sir.
Yeah. Dang, now I forgot what I was going to say.
And they all dress so nice. They dress up really nice. Hair on down.
Yeah, I was going to, getting back to the church. A lot of people have a misconception about the church, especially today, and how the society and how we live today. But the church is really for gathering of like-minded people to come and praise and worship, period. It's just a place you come in the four walls and you come and praise and worship.
To edify one another,
Right,
correct.
and yeah, but people go there thinking, oh, I'm going to find God and learn this. And no, you ain't going to find God necessarily in the church. You're not.
You have a better chance of finding Him at IHOP
Exactly.
than you do in the churches.
And people find him in many different ways, in many different situations. And most people, especially young, go to believe that if I go to church, I'm going to find God, or if I go to church, I'm praising God, or I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
And it's really a big misconception, you know. So
It's a mess. No wonder we're losing. Well, we're not losing, but they're losing. It's a mess. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I do agree with the point about Sunday Christians. It's a big problem. But I will defend MacArthur and Grace Church as being similar to this church that did make a big effort to push back on what's been going on in the last year. If anybody didn't follow it, they were one of the churches that actually took it to the courts, took it to the government, took it to the leadership
good.
to fight to be open
Yeah.
and to fight to gather and worship. And they spent a lot of their resources of that church and of the congregation to go to court and to use lawyers to
Right on,
try to get
man.
the right thing done. And anybody that hadn't read up on it is
What's the
worth
name of
reading.
it?
Grace Church up in the valley.
Oh, okay.
John MacArthur's church. So I think they did a good job, like you guys did, to push back on the system and to not mandate that mass be in the service and people could come and go as they want. So they did a good job with that. But I do agree that most churches are not doing a good job with that, and that's probably
Just
the big.
imagine if all these churches were to get involved. America would be an amazing place.
Yeah, if every church pushed back the way you guys did and the way
Yeah.
Grace did, it would be a different world that we live
That's
in.
right.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Maybe we'll try to get them on the show next so I can ask what's wrong. And I noticed that they don't call it out what it is, they call it sin. But there were a time when they would say, abortion is wrong, or homosexuality is wrong, or whatever is wrong, right? Black Lives Matter is wrong, but they won't say it now. They call everything a sin because they are afraid to call it out, to say what it is because they don't want to be, protested or talked about or whatever. That is the craziest thing I ever seen. I bet God and Jesus get up in the morning and God sent Jesus over to Starbucks. Coffee bean, I like coffee bean better. and so God like, Jesus, go over there and coffee bean, get me cafe mocha and a cinnamon roll. And get you whatever you want, put it on the credit card. Cause everybody use debit cards now. The millennials do. Millennials are so crazy. Well, I like y'all. It narrows it down. Yeah. When they get paid, rather than going over to the bank, getting in line and making their deposit, they make it on the phones now. Are you aware of that? Yes. Can someone steal it? I mean, but the Chinese said, put it on your phone. They're like, okay. They don't worry about their privacy at all. It's amazing. No wonder China's ripping us off. Yes, sir. Oh, okay.
Jesse, it seems like a lot of religious leaders say that this country is finished. If that is true, is it possible that the individuals are is finished because the
That's
country
what
is
he
old?
just asked too. Well, we're going to have to find a rock and hide behind it, because there's not going to be enough of us to save it, right? And so we have to hide. Remember, God said that we have to find a rock. I was looking around on YouTube the other day for my rock. So look for a rock, Raymond.
Thank you.
No, we're going to save it right here.
Aside from the fact that I believe God is the source of all life and everything around us,
Yes.
I'm not sure that I necessarily believe the Bible is literal truth. I believe it's true in other ways, but I don't know if I believe it's literal truth. And would that mean I'm...
Why not?
Because I'm trusting a lot of... I think it's a book of men that are trying to find God. And I think a lot of corrupt institutions throughout history have had control over it and have changed certain things in it. So am I deceiving myself and calling myself a Christian if I think that?
Well, you're right in that there are some things in the Bible that's been changed. So everything in the Bible is not true because it's been changed down through history. But there are things in the Bible that is true as well. So, but that doesn't make you a Christian. What makes you a Christian is when you repent for your hatred in your heart, for the and turn back to the Father.
Yeah.
That makes you a Christian when you're born again of God. So even if you never read the Bible, but you repented of your heart and returned to the Father, you would be a Christian.
Yeah, because actually I go to, or sometimes I go to one of these Bible thumping churches, and my good friend who I was living with for a little bit, he is really big into the Bible. He had this book, it was like this book on theology. It's like if you drop this book on your foot, you'd probably break your foot.
You did what?
He had this huge book that I'm saying, like, if you had dropped this book, it might break your foot. That's how big it was. It was all about theology. And he was asking me, he would always ask me questions like, if somebody never read the Bible, are they saved? If you don't follow, he would always bring up scripture, and I'd just say, like, if the person looks within and the person is, like you were saying, like, I would say, yeah, they're a Christian. I don't know if they're a Christian, but I know they're saved, and I know they're, they're going to bear fruits they're going to bear fruits in this life and after they die. But yeah, I just wanted to see your take on it.
Are you a Christian?
I would say yes, but that's kind of why when my question is, would you say I am?
Would I say that you're a Christian?
Yeah.
If you tell me that you are, I'll say, okay, you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Do you have you gone and forgiven?
Yes.
Oh, okay. And you returned to the Father?
I believe so.
I mean, that's what it takes. You must be born again of the Father.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, if you've done those things, repented of your sin. Good. Were you an atheist before?
Was that? Oh, I was here once. And you asked me if I told you I grew up as an atheist Jew. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah. You don't look like a Jew.
What does a Jew look like?
You're supposed to be white.
Yeah.
How you be? Are you like one of those black Israelite Jews?
No, I'm from Israel, though.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Nice. All right. Well, hi, Jew.
Hello, black man.
Have you ever gone to the tomb of Christ where he laid after he died?
No, I've been to, maybe I have, I'm not sure. I've been to Israel. I used to go there to visit my family, and I've gone to Jerusalem. I've seen some of the things, but I was so unaware at that time, so
I see.
I don't know.
Well, next time you go visit that, it's so nice.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
If I was, one of the requirements to get into heaven is that you must visit Israel. Well, if you don't visit Israel, you can't go to heaven. It is the most amazing place on earth to visit. One of the most amazing places. So next time you go to your homeland, visit it.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
It's like walking through the Bible.
Yeah.
It really is amazing. And another nice thing about Israel is that they drink a lot of wine. Wine everywhere. Oh, now Sammy want to go. And they have wine trees, and they plant it all over the place. It's really nice, and they have good food. We went there twice. The organization did, and we took Francisco. He went with us once, and he almost ate the Jews out. The food was so good at the hotels. Every time he went, he was like, just pile his plate up. I'm like, this Mexican is embarrassing me. The food was good, It was so good. So visit Israel. Otherwise, you can't go to heaven. All right? It is really, really nice. Anything else? So you're a Christian, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're a Christian if you have done that.
Yeah.
Anything else?
No, I think that's all.
All right. Yeah.
I guess I can answer the biblical question.
Yeah, I'll get to it in a minute. Hold on. All right. It's a good one, huh?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Let me take this young man here, and then I'll come to you. Yes, sir.
Hello, Jesse. I just want to add on to what you were talking about. Yeah, like people need to, stand up and, go out there, do something, because, you have to build good and destroy evil. And if you're not doing that, then you're either fearful or docile.
Yeah.
And I think, it's like I would be amazed if every single one of these people in here would go out there and,
Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be protesting.
Yeah, no.
That. Get involved with government.
Mm-hmm.
Do something.
Yeah, do something, and I just wanted to add on. Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that because, I work too as well, but every free time that I do have, I do,
You
I
have
go
a
out.
job?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, wait, hold on, of course.
That's right.
Yeah, so like the free time you have, obviously everyone gets your rest. You always say, you sleep like 4 hours. You're always on it. And it is like you say, greater is in us than in Him.
That's
in
right.
Jesus Christ. So yeah, I just want to add on
can't
to that.
imagine knowing God and then you just go home and sit around and complain and not do anything. What's the purpose? You know what I'm saying? And then you try to get everybody saved. Why? If all you're going to do is sit around the house and do nothing, it doesn't make sense. You're absolutely right, man. Yes, sir.
All right, so I'd read in the Bible one time a while back. I don't know exactly where it's written, but I know. It says, does not he who knows all things take that into account when making a judgment? So like, hey, somebody's never heard of God or Christ, all right, he's going to take that into account when he's judging you. And I've also heard that the gospel will be preached to the four corners of the earth before Christ returns.
Well, they're working on it.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're not out fighting, but they're getting the word out there. It's amazing.
All right.
Thank you. That's deep. Yes, sir.
I just wanted to touch on what we were talking about because it really struck a nerve with me. I just joined a church recently last year, the Mormon church. And
The Mormon?
Yes.
Okay.
And I still don't necessarily 100% believe in what they teach, but I was in a process of spiritual repentance, and it just worked out this way. And now I'm going to school at BYU in Utah in the fall, so everything in my life has just fallen into place because I've trusted. But I still don't necessarily think it's because of their church. But I have noticed that the men, they just sit around and do nothing. They talk about the Book of Mormon, they talk about the Bible, and they preach, and they talk about sharing that light and spreading that into the world, but there's no
cohesion with the men. They're all about inclusiveness. They want to get women more involved. They want to make it about appeasing whatever's going on in the world with Black Lives Matter and racism. Like, they're having their big general conference right now as we speak. And that was one of the first things their prophet brought up was, we need to stamp out racism. And I'm thinking, is that really the biggest problem that's happening in the world right now is racism? It just doesn't make sense to me. So I'm really struggling with that, but I know that I'm in the right place just because everything with my education and fellowship is working, and I'm meeting great friends like this. We're both the 2 most recent converts in our church, and I feel like we're the ones that are making the most happen. You know, I've gotten complaints too from the women in the ward. I've talked to a couple of them. They're like, all the men are weak in this ward. And I just got there. I'm like, well, what do you want me to do? I thought they were supposed to teach me how to be a man and how to follow Christ, but they just sit around and do nothing. So I don't know why it's happening. I feel like it's fear or something. But when you said that, that's what's been going on with me lately. And I don't know what to do. I guess we just got to stand up and make the change ourselves.
It is fear, because they haven't found what they're looking for. They haven't found God. Because there's no way you can know God and have fear. There's no way you can know God, be born of Him, and just sit around and do nothing. Just go to church. And you're right. When I was flipping through the TV, I noticed that there are more and more women up there preaching the Bible too now. I'm like, what the? And then the few preachers that are up there, the male preachers, they have their wives sitting at the table with them now while they're preaching the Bible. And she's just grinning, praise the Lord. And then they always say, isn't that right, honey? With the Bible, praise the Lord, that's right. Why? What is it for? It's insane. And they are afraid. They really are afraid. And it's unfortunate. I'm glad you guys are doing that.
How can you be a man of God if you're afraid, though?
You're not a man of God if you're afraid. You know, they may know the Bible. They may have gone down to the front of the church and confessed the Lord, but they don't know Him. They have not been born again, because perfect love casts out fear. So I'm glad you guys are involved, man. You got to get involved. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so like Gabriel was saying, I myself have been a member of this church for about 4 months now. I actually was born again, like how you said. You know, I was never really religious or anything like that prior in my life. I knew of God and Jesus Christ, but really didn't have him at like the center of my life. And so back in October, I just was really lost in life. Around that time, I became very depressed and such. And just so happened that, you know, I was able to find God during that time, because I was at the park one day just hanging out, trying to clear my mind. You know, I love being out in Heavenly Father's creation, outside in nature. And just so happened I found the missionaries right there. And, you know, from that day forward, I just started feeling that, like, love from Heavenly Father. I started feeling the comfort of Jesus Christ. And it just was so crazy, because from, like, day to day, I just changed completely. And from the person that I was in the past, and really repenting of those transgressions and stuff, because I used to drink a lot back then. I used to do a lot of bad stuff. And, you know, I just realized that a lot of the things that I, you know, did in the past, it just became so easy for me to let them go. And so, you know,
why were you depressed?
I think I was just living in the past too much. A lot of the stuff I was holding on, and I wasn't, like, you know, really letting God take away those burdens from me and such. And that's why when I found, like, the church, like, I really believe that Heavenly Father saw that. And so, like, nowadays, I really don't live in the past or think about the future. I just try to live in this present moment with God. And now it's just been so much easier for me to, like, overcome those trials and anything that I do go through.
How old are you now?
I'm 21. I just turned 21 last Saturday.
Right on.
Yeah. And, yeah, like Gabriel said, you know, me and him are the 2 newest converts in our church, and yet we're doing the most. And it's crazy to me, because it's just...
They're going to bring you guys out of there.
Yeah. It's crazy. Like, like literally from the beginning, I was literally investigating the church at first, and I literally tried making plans with the guys one day, and I was still not even baptized into the church yet, and I still tried making plans. And nowadays, I just kind of feel myself getting exhausted, like, because we're always going out of our way to like make plans. And, you know, we'll go to the beach and stuff like that, try to invite other people, and I just kind of find myself getting a little exhausted nowadays, where I just don't feel like, you know, really doing what I was doing. So it's just like.
Well, let God guide you. One thing will lead to another.
Yeah.
If it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Okay. So I said that. Did y'all hear me on the radio say that black people are cursed? See? That's and Ernest, you disagree with me that black people are cursed, right? Yeah, I disagree. Yes. And why do you disagree?
Because, I mean, you're not God. You don't know if they're cursed.
Ooh.
Only God would know that.
So I would have to be God to know if someone is cursed or not?
Yeah, because he's the only one that would put the curse on them. Unless he revealed it to you specifically that.
You say God is the only one that would put the curse on them?
Right.
But God doesn't put curses on you.
Well, okay.
Uh-huh.
Good point. Okay.
Would I have to be God to know that?
Who put the curse on them then?
So what?
Who put the curse on them?
Their dad is Satan?
I don't think Satan can put curses on people.
Why not?
I think people can believe lies that Satan tells them, but I don't think he has the power to put a curse on anybody.
Why do you don't think that?
I just don't believe that.
Why?
I just don't.
Why do you think they come from God then?
That's a good point. I could be wrong. I'm probably wrong about that. You're right about that.
So you don't think Satan is doing it, but you think God is doing it?
I don't know who. I
What
don't
kind of
believe
love is that?
Well, let me just say this. I
Where's
don't want
the
to get
love
on a
in that?
slippery slope. I don't believe they're cursed. I do believe they've been brainwashed. I believe that the majority of them are evil and they're doing a lot of wrong things. But I don't believe that as a whole you can just say a whole race
Well, I
is
said
cursed.
not all, but most.
No, you didn't say. You said black people.
But I said black people right now, but I always say not all.
Okay, well,
not all.
if you make that exception, then
Well,
I.
it's just one or two that's not cursed.
Yeah, if you add that exception, I could go with that.
I'm sorry?
I said if you add that exception, then yeah, I would tend to agree that most are. I don't know if they're cursed, but I would say most are evil.
Mostly what?
Are evil.
So if you're evil, that's not being cursed?
I don't know. No, I don't necessarily. I don't know. That's a guy. I haven't thought about it like that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
So now that you think about it, if you're evil, are you blessed or are you cursed?
If you're evil, you're cursed.
Oh, and you say most of them are evil?
I say that, yeah. But where I disagree with you when you say is black people are cursed, I don't think you could make it seem like a whole race is cursed, and it's like you open it up to, it's like you can do anything. If somebody's cursed, it's like giving people license to do whatever they want to that person. Kind of like in the old biblical times.
Well, Satan gave them the license to do it,
Yeah.
and the white people backing off and letting them do it.
Yeah, I don't agree with that language.
Oh.
Yeah,
you don't like that language. Is there a nicer way to say it?
I'm not trying to say it nicer. I just don't agree with the word curse. I wouldn't say any race in general is cursed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Who else agree with that?
I agree with you.
Oh, okay. You agree with Ernest?
Yeah, I agree with him. I don't believe in curses just in general.
You don't believe in curses?
Yeah, I don't believe in curses.
You don't believe it exists?
I don't believe it exists at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Amazing. So you disagree too in the back here, the young lady right here? Yeah.
I disagree with you, or I disagree with you?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I think that people can be cursed, like in the Bible, like Adam and Eve were cursed, but I think that was like the root of that was like their ego, like Eve wanting to be like God and stuff like that. So I think that we can be cursed if we listen to our ego. I don't know, like if different races are prone to it. I don't know. I haven't experienced that personally.
Have you ever heard of black people? And the reason I'm making the point because I want blacks to wake up. It's really time to wake up. It's time to stop it. It really is. And somebody got to say it so that maybe one or two would think about it and wake them up. But we got to tell the truth so that hopefully they'll wake up. It shouldn't be that way. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you
Yeah.
mean.
So you say you agree with me?
I mean it. I agree with you, Jesse.
Oh, you said that.
You talking to me or?
Yeah. Did you say you agree with Ernest or me?
Me.
Uh-huh.
I agree with Ernest.
That black people are not cursed?
Well, it's not that I agree or not. I'm just, now I need to know what does curse mean? What is curse?
Oh.
And then the other question is, what if you're mixed?
If you're mixed with black and white, you're a cursed coward. You know, the white part is a coward, and the black part is cursed. Okay. Yes, sir. All the way from Detroit. And he black.
Yeah, I'm black for sure.
So do you agree with me or Ernest?
I think it's a deep question. It's nuanced because it comes with identity, and I think a lot of what we call black people don't have an identity because we don't know our history, so we're disconnected, and so we're more prone as a culture to being misled by lies and deceit. And if you're misled by lies and deceit for generation after generation, that's technically a generational curse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And so that's why you hear a lot of black people say, I'm stopping the generational curses. I'm going to not have kids out of wedlock. I'm going to do things in order. So when you operate outside of order, you're operating outside into a curse, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, I mean, to me, it's really simple.
Yeah.
It's really nuanced, but a lot of black people just don't have a culture, and we don't have identity, and we don't know our history. And when you don't know your history, you're misled very easily. And you start to make decisions based off of the media, emotions, envy. You become prone to Marxism, communism, right?
Yeah.
Things that bring other people down. So that's just my opinion.
Okay. Thank you, man. And the other black guy from Detroit.
He mixed.
You mixed?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. So, what do you mix with?
Black and white.
Oh. So, are you like a cursed coward?
I guess so.
Do you agree that black people, not all, but most, are cursed?
I wouldn't say curse. I would say not having the father figure is like a big part of it. So that they look up to basketball players, rappers, people in the media instead of like having a strong father
Yeah.
to look up to. I think that's the bigger problem.
Right.
But I don't think they're cursed. It's
What
just-
does it mean to be cursed?
I don't know.
Oh. So have you ever thought about that?
No.
Because I don't hear that word a lot. I think people just forgotten that word. Right here. You had your hand? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. So do you believe they're cursed?
Yes, most definitely. Not all, but most.
Ooh, a white man said that, Hermes.
Yes. And to be
So
cursed.
Hermes is looking out here at you to make
No,
sure.
I know. I'm gonna get some words after this probably. I know.
He said, "I'll meet you outside."
No, yes. But that's a good question. What is to be cursed? And I believe to be cursed is to be easily brainwashed by Satan, to be easily be taken over by Satan, by words, by, taking like all in, like you would say, all in your blackness, all in the blackness. People don't even understand like that, the black community is easily brainwashed, and that means to be cursed. They are easily taken over by Satan. They go once, and doesn't matter what side of the spectrum you're on, once you use that, you get, oh, I'm black, boom, automatically they are cursed. They are using their skin color as some kind of weapon. It doesn't matter what spectrum you're on.
All right.
And it's just,
That's enough.
yeah. Okay.
Thank you. I got
I know. I'm not trying to go off, but yes.
Right here in the back, and then Mary, and then Nick is coming up. Yes, sir.
I'm Asian. I used to feel bad for y'all because of the curse thing.
Oh, gee.
No. But just this week with the Stop Asian Hate thing, like they're trying to suck us into this game.
Yeah.
And man,
Yeah.
it is a cancer.
It is. It's amazing. Someone sent me a report, I guess yesterday, out of Milwaukee. These 4 big old black guys with masks on went into this Asian beauty shop or something, and they were yelling at this Asian man that you don't talk to black women like that. You cursed at a black woman. Something happened, right? And the little Asian guy was so scared. He was trying to run out the back door. I guess he couldn't get out. And then all the people around in the shop were afraid, and they were just looking at him. And then these black guys started chanting, "Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter," and it scared the Asians to death. But when they showed it on TV, they won't say it's the black people that's doing it. They'll say it's white supremacy. And I'm like, I'm looking at a black person though. And I mean, there was another fight on a train where some black guy beat Asian up until he fell out, passed out. No big deal. And there was a black guy that been accused of running into 2 officers and killing one in Washington, D.C. there at the Capitol, around that area. Did y'all hear about that? And they would not say it was a black person. So I knew it was black. Even on MSNBC, they said, I think it was MSNBC, one of the networks said it was a white guy. And then they had to, I don't know if they went back and retracted that lie, but it was a black guy that did it. And this is why we got to get the Christians involved. We got to be saying something. We got to be doing something. There has to be the truth exposing the lie. Otherwise, there's no end to what they're going to do. Greater is he that's in us than he that's in the world. And so if you have this anger and stuff like that, you need to get over this anger so you don't have to buy a rock and hide behind it. You need to. Today is, as you were saying, is an amazing day. This is a day that did Christ rise or what? Something like that. Yeah, something like that. And Christ gave his life so that we can be of love, right? And we can live and have a life. He never meant for us to hide. Christ never hid from anything. He didn't run from a situation. And he's our brothers. We've been born again. And like the big brother, we should be running. If somebody don't like you for it, fine, wish them well. But we should not be on the run. It's crazy. We should not be losing our freedom of speech. And come on up, Nick, and the right to bear arms. And what's Alice, what's Levi, Daddy? What's your first name? Nate. Nate, do you disagree about the blacks being cursed? Ooh.
But I was just talking to a black Israelite, actually, the other day at the beach, and he told me that this is the evidence that the blacks really are God's chosen people, because if you read Deuteronomy, the curses under the law, he says that they've left the way, and so now they're being cursed. So that's evidence that they are the real Jews, and not the gentleman over there.
Sorry, buddy.
Yeah.
So
you know the passage ends actually.
I know, me too.
Oh, okay. No, I didn't know that.
You want me to finish the whole passage?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Speaking of Deuteronomy, so you say yes, you believe the blacks are cursed?
Well, I just think any separation from God is cursed. If you're separated from God, you're living under a curse. It's one or the other, right? So they have to be, because
So how about the blacks?
It's hard to say. I'm not quite as brave as him. Those boys are from Detroit, so the big boy over there.
So you're
yes,
afraid
I
to
do
say?
believe. I do believe.
They
that,
can't see your face, so they wouldn't know.
All right. And I'm 2% Nigerian, so I can say it about my own people. They are cursed. The blacks are cursed.
You'll be fine then. So Mary, what do you say? Right here.
I say yes, blacks are definitely cursed.
Uh-huh. The woman is smarter than the man. And why do you say yes?
Because they don't have a, what is it? They don't have a belief. They don't have a true thing that they do for instance, now, before they were knocking out white people, so then they heard, oh, something about Asians, so they started on that. It's like they
Well, they've been beating up the Asians for a
yeah,
long time.
for a long time.
This is not new,
now
it's just not starting to come out.
Yeah, but it's just that the vicissitudes, like somebody can tell them one thing, and then all blacks get involved in that one thing, and it's just that they don't have, what is it? They don't have they don't have God. Because if they had God, they would know the right way to go and do the right things. But every little wind that pushes, they go with that wind.
Yeah.
And it's not uplifting them. It's downgrading the killing the children, the this, the that. And they want to blame everyone except themselves.
Yeah. Amazing. Last word, Frankie, go ahead. I saw your hand, right? Okay. Are you saying that they're cursed?
I believe they are.
And why?
Just looking back in the Bible, God cursed Cain to, and then.
Was Cain black?
Yes.
Cain was black?
Was
he that kind of black or my kind of black?
He was this kind of black. White
kind
of
of
black.
kind of black. That makes sense. He had good hair.
So in the Bible, it talks God curses man, curses woman. You know, you'll sweat. Man has to work. When God put Adam and Eve out,
black people don't work.
Oh, he also he also.
This is the real deal.
And so God.
Because they don't work. Yeah.
I think that's a big one right there, not working, because man is made to work. He's made to go through his struggles. But
right.
yeah, I believe
Absolutely.
There are a lot of curses. Even the monarchy in England, the king and queens, you could see it in their generations. Every generation they've had children
so are they
split
black?
Off. There's something.
The king and queen are black?
They're white.
Oh.
They're white.
Well, we talking about black people. Take the mic. No, I'm playing. So speaking of Deuteronomy, that's what we're about to read. And Ernest, pay attention, and you're going to see for yourself. And you're right in that it's just anyone who's turned away from the Father is cursed. That's what someone has said that. That's for sure. But they got it bad. They like turned way away from the Father. And another side of the curse in the black community is that they are pushing women like they are men. The men are standing up and putting the woman out in front of them. And so that's the order of things, right? So they're so cursed, they don't even realize that they are putting the women before them.
They're queens, though.
They call them queens, and yeah. But you're not supposed to let the queen rule you. You know what I'm saying? And so I want to read the curses first, because there are a whole lot of them. And so Nick gonna read. You want me to hold this for you? Or you? Oh, okay. Everybody know Nick, right?
What's
the
up?
anchor baby.
That's me.
The producer of the Jesse Peterson show.
I am an anchor baby.
I ain't crazy.
So this is a Deuteronomy chapter 28. The passage is titled Curses, and it starts at verse 15. And it reads, "But if you do not obey the voice of Yahweh your God, and do not keep and observe all his commandments and laws which I am laying down for you today, then all these curses will befall and overtake you. You will be accursed in the town and accursed in the countryside, accursed your basket and your kneading trough, accursed the offspring of your body, the yield of your soil, the young of your cattle, and the increase of your flock. You will be accursed in coming home and accursed in going out. Yahweh will send a curse on you, a spell, an imprecation on all your labors until you have been destroyed and quickly perish, because of your perverse behavior and having deserted me. Yahweh will fasten the plague on you until it has exterminated you from the country which you are about to enter and make your own. Yahweh will strike you down with consumption, fever, inflammation, burning fever, drought, wind blast, mildew, and these will pursue you to your ruin. The heavens above you will be brass, the earth beneath you iron. Your country's rain, Yahweh will turn into dust and sand. It will fall on you from heavens until you perish. Yahweh will have you defeated by your enemies. You will advance on them from one direction and flee from them in 7. And you will be a terrifying object lesson to all the kingdoms of the world. Your carcass will be carrion for all wild birds and all wild animals, with no one to scare them away. Yahweh will strike you down with Egyptian ulcers, with swellings in the groin, with scurvy and the itch, for which you will find no cure. Yahweh will strike you down with the madness and blindness, distraction of mind, until you grope your way at noon like a blind man groping in the dark, and your steps will lead you nowhere. You will never be anything but exploited and plundered, with no one to save you. Get engaged to a woman, another man will have her. Build a house, and you will not live in it. Plant a vineyard, and you will not gather its first fruits. Your ox will be slaughtered before your eyes, and you will eat none of it. Your donkey will be carried off in front of you, and not be returned to you. Your sheep will be given to your enemies, and no one will come to your help. Your sons and daughters will be handed over to another people, and every day you will wear your eyes out watching for them, while your hands are powerless. A nation hitherto unknown to you will eat the yield of your soil and of all your hard work. You will never be anything but exploited and crushed. You will be driven mad by the sights you will see. Yahweh will strike you down with foul ulcers on knee and leg, for which you will find no cure, from the sole of your foot to the top of your head. Yahweh will send away both you and the king, whom you have appointed to rule you, to a nation unknown either to you or to your ancestors. And there you will serve other gods, made of wood and stone. And you will be the astonishment, the byword, the laughingstock of all the peoples where Yahweh is taking you. You will cast seed in plenty on the fields, but harvest little, since the locusts will devour it. You will plant until your vineyards, but not drink the wine, or gather the grapes, since the grub will eat them up. You will grow olive trees throughout your territory, but not anoint yourself with the oil, since your olive trees will be cut down. You will father sons and daughters, but they will not belong to you, since they will go into captivity. All your trees and the whole yield of your soil will be the prey of insects. The foreigners living with you will rise higher and higher at your expense, while you yourself sink lower and lower. You will be subject to them, not they to you. They will be the ones at the head, and you the one at the tail. All these curses will befall you, pursue you, and overtake you until you have been destroyed, for not having obeyed the voice of Yahweh your God, by keeping his commandments and laws which he has laid down for you.
I rest my case. All that stuff is happening to black people right now. All of it. Any type of disease that come out, they said black people, they got it the worst. We got to go help the blacks with it. The needy people, the blacks, they need more programs, they need more leaders, they need more this and they need more that. The kids are out of control. They're cursed, generation after generation after generation. The illegal aliens are coming in and overtaking them. And now they're not as needed. The blacks are not as needed. I mean, if you really, really pay attention, you will see that they are cursed from generation to generation to generation. And we need to say it so that maybe somebody hear and think about it. You know, maybe one person hear it. Right, that is so true. Because people don't pay attention to what's happening. They're not really looking closely at what's happening. And it's bad. They have leaders that tell them anything and they believe it. They just believe it. It doesn't have to be true. It just needs to be said. They are cursed, generation after generation, and they are being destroyed. They are destroying themselves. And you're right, anyone can be cursed that's turned away from the Father, but this is a whole culture that is cursed from generation to generation. And it wasn't like that when I was growing up. Under the Jim Crow and all that, they had family, they believed in God. They treated all people the way they would like to be treated. It didn't matter about the color, or male or female. All that is gone now. It's not uncommon to see black people in fights and all kinds of stuff. The kids have I mean, they be hoochie mama dancing, all half naked, all in front of the TV, everywhere. They have no shame. That's cursed. Most blacks are cursed. Only 1 or 2 are not. Well, I don't know about Irma now. Yeah, Joel blessed. So anybody disagree with me on that? What do you think now, Irma? Okay. It's worse than, and it's getting worse. Black people can literally attack other people on camera. The police could be hanging out, and they don't go to jail. No big deal. And if they do go to jail, they let them out without bail. And they go right out and do the same thing over again. I'm not making this up. It sounds funny when I say it, I guess. But, and the world is so sensitive. You can't say anything now. I was telling my barber about Samuel, right? The Mexican cowboy boy. And I went to the barber shop yesterday and I drove a different car. He's like, where's your car? I said, it's being cleaned, washed, and waxed by the Samuel, the Mexican cowboy boy. He's like, oh, don't say that. I'm like, and he was like real serious. He wouldn't laugh. And this guy's a talkative, laugh, funny kind of person, right? I'm like, why? That's the name of his business. His business is called Samuel, Mexican cowboy boy. He's like, oh man, that sounds so racist. I said, but he said it. And so I said, let's just break it down. His name is Samuel. He is Mexican, and he owns a car business, a car cleaning deal. That's Samuel and the Mexican cowboy boy. And then I said, you want me to have him call you to clean your car? He's like, oh man. He's like, yeah, you can tell him, but I'm not going to call him Mexican cowboy boy. He was taking it so seriously. And I'm like, that Samuel gave himself that name. You know what I mean? Everybody's so soft and sensitive. The man can't even call himself the Mexican cowboy boy. And he's a Mexican. Isn't that amazing? He can't even say it now. It hurts to say it. That's crazy. That's insane. And Samuel is a Mexican. Look, doesn't he look like a Mexican?
I think he's Latinx.
No, he's Mexican. Yes, Hermes.
Just for the record, I am very blessed. God's looking out for me.
What?
So, you say you didn't know. I'm blessed. Thank you.
He might be what?
Right. So I'm just letting you know I'm blessed. I'm not cursed.
Oh, good.
All right. But yeah, I mean, I've read
Why
that before.
Why James laughing so hard at this too?
I've read that before, and it's definitely powerful in the scriptures. But I think it probably does apply to this generation of blacks. Where I disagree with you
think
is
it probably does, or it does, or it doesn't.
I think it does. It agrees to this generation.
Is it hard to say it?
No, I just don't agree with you when you say blacks are cursed. Like from the beginning of time, they're, I don't agree with that. But
What do
if
you mean from the beginning of time?
I mean, you're just making a blanket statement saying blacks are cursed.
What do you mean by from the beginning of time now?
I mean, when you say blacks are cursed, it's like a encompassing statement with no nuance or no explanation. I don't agree with that.
What's a nuance?
But you know what that means. I mean, you have to, without no context.
What does nuance mean?
Like no distinction.
Joel, what does nuance mean?
It's okay. Let me just say this. It's a broad generalization.
Let me ask Levi's mother. What does nuance mean? So where you get that word from? And you're supposed to be blessed.
It's a generalization.
Huh? Stages? Oh. What does it mean?
Let me make my point, because you're trying to,
Chris said it doesn't mean
you're trying
that
to
there.
drown out my common sense and truth. So,
You try to use all these words that has no meaning.
so I agree with you if you said like this generation of blacks are cursed, right? I would agree with that. Or they're evil. You know, I don't even have a problem with the word curse, but
But it's not just this young generation. It's a generation before them and before them.
I don't
and
agree with
before
that.
them.
Because you said yourself that previous generations were doing well. They had it going on. They had businesses. The families were intact. That's not that long ago. We're talking about 50, 60 years ago.
No,
So-
71 years ago.
Well, but you know, when I heard you read the curses, to me, I see that playing out in individual people's life. It could be anybody, any race.
Well, we said that whomever turned away from the Father
Right.
is cursed, right?
Yeah.
But in the black culture, they're all cursed.
I don't agree with that. It's
Not all, but most.
cursed. And then you got, even if you go around the world, there's millions of people. You can go to India, other countries, where there are millions of people that are suffering also. So, I
But
mean, you
we're
just can't
here
say
in
a whole
America.
race is cursed. I just
We
don't
just
agree with that.
mainly talk about America.
Yeah, but I do.
Blacks are cursed in America.
This generation
And
of-
in Europe. Anywhere white folks are, the blacks are cursed.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes sense.
What
Look
do
at
the
it.
white folks have to do? I mean, you say anywhere where the white folks are. What does that mean?
Because white people make them look bad. And they don't want the whites to make them, so they're dumbing the whites down.
Oh, I see.
And so they won't look bad.
And that's part of the curse?
Yeah, they're hurting the white people.
Okay. All right. Well, I would say, yeah, this generation of blacks, that's the only distinction I would make.
Anybody disagree with that? I know it's a tough subject to talk about, I guess, but we got to talk about it. We got to love one another enough to tell the truth about it. And we can't make anyone accept it. It's up to you to accept it or not. But this is America. We are a Judeo-Christian nation. Somebody got to stand up. If Christ was here, he would not be sitting around not telling the truth. And he wouldn't care if you didn't like him or not. Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say that I do agree with that. My family, actually, we've discussed this growing up, how blacks might be cursed as well.
That might be.
So
It's
this is
all
like-
in everything in this
so-
book is happening in the black
So
community.
it's coming from like a Mexican family, right?
Yeah.
So we were told not to even marry or date black people.
See there? No, senor, don't marry. Don't marry those blackies. No. Yes, sir. Don't bring no black babies up in here.
So,
No, senor, no.
so speaking on that subject, my whole family's mixed. Like all my cousins are black. So, with my
I'm sorry
cousins.
to hear that.
So on the subject of curse, like my cousins, my female cousins, their daddies running around obviously, and they would teach. My cousins are pimps in Sacramento, but they were taught by their mothers to be
To
that.
be a
But then they
pimp.
still running the streets and being hustlers and all that. But they were taught that by their mothers, and then they still talk crap about the white man, like everything's the white man's fault. It was
Yeah.
still like that, you know.
You have to be cursed to
It's
think that.
crazy. And
Yeah.
I see the little, my second, third, whatever cousins they are, at 5, 6 years old, they're speaking like that already, and it's something else. And then I was in a relationship with a black woman from 2012 to 2016,
Ooh.
17, and so they're like their stepmother. And
She's
but
like-
even in those
she's
situations,
their stepmother?
huh?
You said she like their stepmother?
But we weren't married. I was living in Fulton State. Like
Oh, I see. Okay.
we split up because of everything you
Well,
said came
I'm
true.
sorry
with,
y'all had to go through that, buddy.
With that, everything you.
I was
talked
surprised
about
you
said
even liked your
came
daddy
true.
after that.
But in that situation, I never had problems with white people being with her. It was always, I was attacked by, but we don't call it racism. I was just like people, they were a jerk off, whatever. But I'd be attacked for being with a black woman, by a black man or whatever. And even members of her family would be like, he ain't welcome, he ain't come to my house,
Yeah.
But not, so, but why is a white man always got to be called the? I never seen it from the other way.
Because they're cursed.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Did she beat you up? She used to beat you up?
no, she's a good woman. So. It just didn't work because, like you said, with
she used to beat him up. Your son, like
no, it's like you say with the children
babe.
it was more from the
sorry,
children that caused and I'm learning from you. It was just it didn't work because
right. It was the wrong thing to do.
You're
anyway.
supposed to be with the person that you, or else be alone.
Yes, with your children. Right on.
It doesn't work out.
Y'all got to start saying this so that somebody hear it and they'll change. And we don't say it like it's not enough to sit around in church, these big, huge churches, amening and singing and praising the Lord, and not being out there telling the truth. I believe for a long time when I moved to California that I thought white people were racist because I listened to Jesse Jackson and all those guys, and there was no one saying, no, that's not true. People were acting as though it was true. So I believed it because I only heard one side of the story. And then when I woke up, I realized I had been lied to. And so I started speaking up. We've been lied to, we've been lied to. So we got to have the truth out there, otherwise there's no way to wake up. They got to hear the truth. And if they get mad, forgive them. But at least love them enough to tell the truth. Because the whole country is being affected by it. These black guys, how can you go on a train and beat up an innocent Asian to the point that he blacks out and you just steal his stuff and walk away? No, nothing. And everybody afraid to do anything about it. Everybody has cameras, right? They're like videotaping it, but no one helped the guy. Not one person. There were men and women on the train. How do you walk into a beauty shop and curse out someone and start shouting? You know you curse when you gotta say Black Lives Matter, and you're a male. Men that have nobody saying Black Lives Matter. But they're cursing, they don't know. Someone gotta say it. Most people didn't know they had to overcome mama until they heard me say, you gotta overcome your mother. Your mother is no angel. And they're like, wow, that's true. But up until that, it was all about the man being bad, and the woman looked like an angel. And so she was out there destroying because they thought the man was the problem. It's the mother that's the problem. And the men are weak and allowed it to happen. And so now people looking at this is like, wow, I do hate my mother. And they're going and dealing with her, and they're overcoming it. They were born of the flesh, now they're being born of the spirit because they are overcoming it. They're going to deal with it, but nobody never said it. No one in the family said, you know, you need to overcome your mama. But they said, oh, you just like your mother. And the man was like, oh, thank you. Like that was a compliment. You know? So we gotta say it. We gotta say it. And if they don't like you, fine. I'd rather love them and tell the truth than and be by myself. Because Christ came so that we could be free. He didn't come so we could be in bondage. He came so we could be free. And anyone who believes in God is a free person. You're not a slave. You're free. So we got to say it. Really. If you love them. There is no way you can love God and not say it. This is wrong. You're hating. I'm not giving in to you like that. Because you're just walking dead if you don't say it. Your eyes are open, but your spirit is dead because you're a coward. Come on, Joel. I saw his hand first and then there. Huh? Oh, okay. Then we'll come to you. Did I see your hand? No, okay. To Samuel.
So if the black people are cursed, how can the angels become from Africa? No, I'm just playing.
Because they have destroyed Africa. And they heard about America, and the same thing happens to some wicked angels over here.
So what would you tell black people? You said they're cursed. How do they get over the curse?
They got to forgive. They got to start from the beginning. Forgive their parents for failing them. Forgive mama for turning you away from your fathers. Forgive your fathers, and things will start to change. You will wake up and you'll see. Children of God do not blame. That's a curse there, to be blaming somebody else. And they blame it to the point that they literally believe that white people are superior to them. And they're thinking that that's what white people think. But white people are not thinking that. Superior people don't run and hide. You know what I mean? White people are running. If they're superior, we should be seeing superior coming all over the place. But white people are hiding instead of standing up. So you got to tell them how to overcome it, so they'll know. Okay, so Joel going to read the blessings. So, and I
last form.
Oh, Sammy, you had a question, right?
It was a quick
okay.
little comment.
Yeah, a little comment.
Yeah, just a little comment, you know. So I was reflecting a little bit, and I was listening to some of your old churches, like 11 years ago.
Yeah.
And by the way, I recommend everybody go check them out because you can have church on a Monday if you want to, listening to that.
That's right.
Obviously, the message is the same, which is amazing, you know. So it's applicable to today. But one thing I noticed is a lot of the people that were in the church, and I couldn't see the people, but they sounded older, like an older generation.
Whatever. No, I'm playing.
So one
they
thing
were older.
What was it?
They were older.
Yeah.
They all dead now.
They did.
Nah,
That's right. I know. And looking at Bond today, I love that it's a lot of younger people. And I don't think that's for a random reason.
That's
I
right.
think that's for a reason, you know, like.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, so it's beautiful that a lot of young people are starting to wake up because we got to, well, the way I see it, we got to play the long game. We can't go out and like fight today. We got to think about 10, 20, 100 years from now.
Yep.
And a way to do that is to be right, do right, do things in the right way, have families, teach those children children in the right way, so then their generation will
start a new generation after generation.
Yeah, and then there'll be the light to.
Can you see Sammy with like 10 little Mexicans?
Oh, it's gonna be
around?
like, I'm gonna have like 50 little Samuels. I'm gonna put them all to work when they're 1 year old.
But you're absolutely right, man. But
Yep.
most of all, you got to have love. God is love. If you don't have love, you're not going to have the power to do this because evil is not friendly. It's not friendly at all. But with the power of love, which is of God working through you, you will have no fear. And it wouldn't be about color or male or female. You would just tell the truth out of love. And if they don't like it, you wish them well and go your way. But you got to tell the truth. What's the purpose of knowing God if it's not going to help with it? What's the purpose of having the light if you're going to hide the light? You got to have love. Love is the power of God working through you. You're absolutely right, man. And you're right. The younger generation is starting to wake up. So many atheists are waking up, young atheist people absolutely waking up. I'm glad you guys are doing what you're doing. We need that. Really do. So some of you know that Joel's last day was Friday, right? Did y'all hear about that?
His last name is Friday?
That too. But his last day for the Jesse Lee Peterson show was this past Friday. He has his own company, the giftedofdance.com. I used to call it godly dances and all that, right? Dance with Jesus. And so he got to put his attention on that now because it started to grow and stuff. So, and that's what happened when you start your own business. You be grateful. You have a good attitude, and he has an amazing attitude. And I was surprised when I hired him. He doesn't miss work. He hasn't been calling in sick. He hasn't been talking about, oh, my leg hurt. Can I sit down?
It's 30%. It's not cursed.
That's right. And so the good attitude is paying off for him. So now, as Samuel did, Samuel had a day job when he started his business. He got busy. He had to leave that. When I had the janitorial service, same thing happened. If you have a good attitude, you give the best service, you have an appreciation for all things, the ups and the downs, you can't go wrong in life. God will guide you. So Joel, as of Friday, is focusing on his thing now. So y'all wish him well. And he'll still be coming around sometime doing his little rap stuff. And, and little rap music. And, so you're going to be seeing him, but he won't be daily anymore. All right, so wish him well. And Daniel may take his place as expert. Right, Daniel?
You guys offered me the job. Foreigners taking the black guy's job.
Are you legal or illegal?
Legal, I'm legal.
All right. Okay, so Joel gonna read real fast because of time, the blessing. So you heard the curses, right? So I let Joel read the blessings because the blessings are shorter than the curses. And hopefully we can understand at least 3 other words. No, I'm playing. So from here to there, don't fall asleep. I'm gonna watch and see who falls asleep. The blessings, Deuteronomy 28. And yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, 28. But if you faithfully obey the voice of Yahweh your God by keeping and observing all his commandments, which I am laying down for you today, Yahweh your God will raise you higher than every other nation in the world, and all these blessings will befall and overtake you. For having obeyed the voice of Yahweh your God. It's
You want
kind
me
of
to hold your
small.
mic for you?
No, I don't.
You can't see?
I'm going blind. No, I got it.
You going blind?
No, I can see.
I wouldn't name it and claim it if I were you.
You will be blessed in the town and blessed in the countryside. Bless the offspring of your body, the yield of your soil, the yield of your livestock, the young of your cattle, and the increase of your flock. Bless your basket and your kneading trough. You will be blessed in the coming home and blessed in going out. The enemies will attack you. Yahweh will defeat you before your eyes. They will advance on you from one direction and flee from you in 7. Yahweh will command blessedness to be with you on your barns and all your undertakings, and he will bless you in the country given you by Yahweh your God. From you, Yahweh will make a people consecrated to himself, as he has sworn to you if you keep the commandments of Yahweh and follow his ways. The peoples of the world, seeing that you bear Yahweh's name, will all be afraid of you. Yahweh will make you abound in possessions, in the offsprings of your body, in yield, in your cattle, in the yield of your soil, in the country which he sworn to your ancestors that he would give you. For you, Yahweh will open his treasures of rain, the heavens, to give you your country its rain at the right time, and to bless all your labors. You will make many nations your subject, yet you will be subject to none. Yahweh will put you at your head. Yahweh will put you at the head and not at the tail. You will always be on the top and never underneath, if you listen to the commandments of Yahweh your God, which I laid down for you today, and then keep and put them into practice. Do not deviate to the right or to the left from any of the words which I am laying down for you today, by following other gods and serving them.
Isn't that amazing? And I'm telling you, once you are truly born again of God, by returning to the Father, forgiving the mother, come back. Where you going, Yahweh? And forgive your mothers, return to your fathers, and operate from love. It's a simple life, too. It's so easy, it's so simple. He will take care of you. Everything you touch will turn to gold, meaning it'll turn out well. One thing will lead to another one. You can't have a plan. His plan for you will open up for you, but you got to have love. You got to come back to the Father, and he will bless you in ways that you can't even imagine. He will take care of you better than your parents could ever even imagine taking care of you. It doesn't look like it with the physical eyes, but ways will open up, like, because he loves us. If he didn't love us, he wouldn't have sent his son to make this possible, right? So he loves us more than we could even realize, but you gotta let the anger go. You must overcome the anger. Otherwise, you're gonna suffer. You will be cursed. You must have love. And Christ came that we should love one another. God sent him so we could love. God is love. And in love, everything is there. Everything that you can want is in the real love. So you will be blessed, all right? You don't have to be cursed. You can overcome the anger. God made it possible. And it's real easy. And it's nothing like you can imagine to live like a Christian. And it's an honor to be a Christian. It's nothing like you have learned. You cannot learn to be a Christian. You have to live it. Because if you learn it, you have an idea about Christianity, and you're going to be trying to make that work, and it's the wrong way. It's not right. It's not the way God planned it. But you got to return to love, and then you shall be blessed. All right? But right now, the blacks are cursed. And y'all don't have to be cursed. It's up to you. Really. And if you notice that God will let you just be cursed, He's letting the blacks just go nuts. Have you noticed that? Because God could just stop it if He wanted to. He could make them stop. But He's not going to go against what they want. They want Satan. And He's not going to make you love Him. You got to want to love Him. Otherwise, it wouldn't be love. So He can stop it. He'll let you be a slut. We have any sluts here? He pointed toward his wife. What the? No. How about slut makers? I know we got a lot of slut makers. And you all proud, huh? You like,
I'm honest.
and he'll let you get into all kind of trouble being a slut maker or a slut. You have babies out of wedlock. Your boyfriend or your girlfriend will cheat on you. You have to go to court and the judge take all your money and you still lose your kids. He'll just let that happen. You could live on Skid Row. Now he'll just drinking his coffee. Wow, that dude's still on Skid Row. Look, Jesus. You're like, yeah, Dad. He'll let you suffer because He sent a way for you to overcome it. You don't have to suffer. It's up to you. You be hateful, make up your excuse for being angry, you're going to suffer. There is no peace in anger. But anyway, Joel, because of time, you want to say bye to the folks or anything?
Bye. No, I mean, it's been awesome. The support has been awesome. Thank you guys. I'm still going to be around. I'm still going to be at church. It's just a radio show. Was my last day on Friday, but yeah, thank you.
Are you going to perform for us?
No.
Don't ask that.
I don't have any raps ready.
Christina trying to bring a curse upon us. Amazing. All right, so we wish him well, right? You still see him around now. He'll be around.
God be with you.
Yeah, absolutely. So, any questions about the curses and blessings? Does it make sense? Yeah. It makes sense, huh? Yeah. Yes, sir. And then I want you to answer the biblical. You asked about the biblical question, right? I want you to answer that.
So I guess this is kind of bouncing off of what we were talking about earlier about being Easter Sunday and all. And Christ rose again. And one of the things I was thinking about was that thing that we kind of, I wouldn't say overlook, but tends not to be really discussed much, is that it says that Christ descended into hell for 3 days before rising. And thought about a lot what that might mean, and it seems that not so much here, but you're mentioning some of the other churches, seems to be a lot of jealousy among people that haven't really had that spiritual experience. And it seems like it's very often the case that people have lived very difficult lives and have gone through a lot of struggle, find that, and I don't know, this is just my interpretation, but it seems like walking through hell is a necessity to get to heaven, kind of thing.
It's not, though, because it's just that a lot of people have big egos, and it's harder for them to receive the truth. You can find God without having to suffer. But suffering is another way of finding it.
Okay,
You know,
that
you
makes
cry out
sense.
to God through your suffering, but you don't have to suffer. Christ already suffered for us, right? So you don't have to. It's like what Samuel was saying earlier, is that when he get married, he and his wife going to be right and do right, so their kids won't have to go through that. And because the kids love the father, they're going to be all right. They'll naturally be fine. And they'll naturally return to God, and they'll even grow up with God innocent because they love the father. If you love your father on earth, you don't have to suffer. And even if you don't, and you realize something is wrong, that you're wrong, something's wrong, and you start looking within, you'll see what it is and overcome, just like that. But some people just have hard heads. They have big egos. That's why. All right?
Thank you.
Good, man. You have an amazing voice. We need to use you for some of our ads, commercials. How come you
I'm for
speak so
hire.
well?
A lot of, I've done sales quite a bit, so
Oh.
I guess that's.
Very nice, man. Chris speaks well as well, my our, social media guy. And Joel speaks well, but he just can't read well. And, so when Joel reads the super chats today, it sounds so, it's fun, right? Because he can't read. And when Chris reads, because he can read, it's boring. You notice that? I'm like, this is no fun.
Hater.
And Chris is so into his whiteness, he's not going to change like James. James used to be white, now he's all black. But Chris is holding on to his whiteness. So y'all have to get used to the super chat sounding boring. Oh, let me see. Let's see here. We have George from Super Chat. Thanks, George. Oh, like, this is no fun. I was hoping Joel could turn Chris a little black before he left. But you holding on to your whiteness, huh?
I try to get him to become 40% white.
See? So y'all might as well get used to it. The last thing, the biblical question, what does Satan look like?
I think if you've woken up and you have discernment, then it would look like the most ugly, vile thing you can imagine. But if you haven't woken up, it can be very seducing and look good and beautiful. And like, I remember the first video of you I ever watched was you were at the slut walk, and you were walking up to random girls there, and you were just like, "What made you want to be a slut?" And you're like, "Does your mama know you're here?"
And you saw Satan?
Well, they got so angry because they thought they were doing the right thing going there.
Yeah.
And can't remember the name, Amber Rose, I think, is the name of the woman who puts that on.
Yeah.
And they thought that was Jesus to them. Like they thought everything she was doing was right. So it could really, if you don't have a solid ground to stand on, it's gonna look very tempting and very seducing. Like even Fauci is like, people follow every word he says, even though he's just the doctor guy, Fauci. He literally just sounds like he's just making stuff up as he goes along.
Yeah.
But people, they just see the white lab coat and they see the
That's
titles.
right. Oh, that's such a good point. Such a good point, man. I was watching Dr. Phil over the weekend, and he was dealing with these children. They were called children who are acting out. And so the mothers have called Dr. Phil's show to try to get help. And Dr. Phil had no idea what he was talking about. Zero idea. And they had experts in the audience, men and women in the audience, and they had no idea. They couldn't even help the kids at all. And they all had degrees. I'm like, what the? They didn't deal with the mother issue at all. And you could see, sitting there, you could see that the kids looked like the mother and everything. Their whole look was just like the mother, and the mother sitting there looking like the devil. And they never did say, well, you know what, this kid is just like you. You need to change. They tried to make it be the kid rather than the mother because the father was not around, right? The father's not there. And I'm like, people with experts, people with degrees are dumb. They have no idea. Everybody in this room is smarter than Who have degrees here? See that? Y'all wasting your money, right? You could have got free common sense and save that money and start a business. All right? But you're absolutely right. They have no idea. Isn't that mind-blowing?
Yeah, it's like everything, we're put in all these systems growing up, you know, by our parents. That's why forgiveness is important, because they think they're doing right too.
Yeah.
And then we're just taught a bunch of garbage
That's
our
right.
whole life, and then, yeah, we just come out confused and, yeah, in a fallen state.
It's a mess. This young lady right here, what does Satan look like? Right here. Yeah. He look like you say? No. Oh. I thought she said me. I thought you said, I said, what does Satan look like? He like, me? What does Satan look like?
I know how it feels, but I don't know how it looks.
We don't want to know that part. Keep that to yourself.
I guess it's just confusing, I guess. I don't
I'm
know.
sorry?
It's confusing. I don't, like, there's no face for me to put physically. I just, the way I think about it is, it looks confusing and chaotic and nice sometimes.
Okay.
Most of the time it looks like nice, I
All
guess.
right. This is an amazing question, all right?
Yeah.
The young man way there want to have the last word in the back. Right here. Yeah. He's dying to answer this.
Dying, man.
Is this your first time here?
First time.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
What's your name and how did you hear about us?
Leighton is my name, and I heard about you, just YouTube.
Right on.
Yeah.
And so what does Satan look like?
I assume you don't mean physical appearance. Yeah, that's not what I think of, but I think he looks like just the flesh part of us, you know, like the getting all up in the feelings and emotions and engaging in things that feel good, you know, that are.
Have you ever thought about this before? Wonder what does Satan
what he
look
looks like? No.
Yeah.
Maybe just, you know, I can recognize his influence in my life in the past, and I can pinpoint and say, yeah, that's what he looks like, you know.
Oh, okay.
Just the temptations, you know, the really just the feelings thing, man. I mean, anytime that I've been driven by emotions or feelings,
yeah,
that's Satan right there.
Are you overcoming that now?
Oh yeah.
Okay. And how?
Well, honestly, it just came from forgiving my mom.
Yeah.
You know, going to her just kind of released me, man. It's like it freed me from everything. It's happened like
Absolutely.
a couple of years ago, but since then it's like been really easy and peaceful, and yeah.
Amazing. If you want to know what Satan look like, talk to an angry person. Anyone who has anger has the image of Satan in them. And at some point it will come out. They try to be sneaky, they mean, they overreact, they're emotional, they have doubt, they don't want to hear Samuel, Mexican cowboy boy. Even that offends Satan. If you want to know what Satan look like, look at an angry person. Even yourself, if you have anger, you can see Satan in you. You look like Satan. That's what he look like. And he is a spirit, and so that spirit lives in people, and you can see it in them. Isn't that amazing? So that's what Satan look like. Mind blowing. Short last word. You had your hand, right? Okay, real fast, I got it in it. That's what he looked like. Anyone who has anger, Satan is your daddy, and you can't hide. It's going to come out at some point. Yes.
This is like a really quick question. What do you think about the subconscious mind? Like people talking about the subconscious mind and supposedly like acting up or the ways you act or the way you move in life is because you have something in your like an idea in your subconscious mind that is making you act a certain way.
I know that Satan lives in you, and he causes you to see things that's not there, believe things that's not true, and it causes you to overreact. I don't know about all the subconscious stuff. I do know that he lives through your imagination. He makes you overreact.
Because I know there's like psychologists that nowadays.
Get your money back. Yeah, really.
No. I'm saying it's more like a practice.
I wouldn't go down that road. Just overcome the anger you can see.
Yeah.
It's a spirit.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
Yeah, I wouldn't go down that road. What the? But anyway, this is Easter, right? As the young man was saying, being a Christian is easy. It's easy on one hand and tough on another one, but God is with you, it'll be fine. It's easy in that all you have to do is watch, stay in the present. Overcome the anger and live in the present where God is. He's not in the past, he's not in the future, he's right here, right now. And if you practice living in the present, then he will cause everything to happen. He will cause you to overcome. He will cause you to see. He will cause you to grow. He will take care of you. He will bless you, right? And Christianity is an honor to be. Once you are born again, you're going to see what I mean. You're going to know that it's a blessing to be a son or a daughter of God. It really is, because you're going to see how much he loves you. And it's nothing that you can't read a Bible and think, oh, that's what Christianity is. It's not that. But what the Bible does lead you back to it so you can live it. You have to truly live it. And you can't have an idea of what that is. No idea. You just have to live it in the present. All right? You'll live it. And it'll be amazing. It's nothing like what you think that it is. So let go of all your ideas about what you think it is to live as a Christian and just live it, discover it in the present. It's not in the past. It's right here, right now. And it'll be amazing. And then you will be able to deal with all things that come because you're living in the present. So all this stuff you've been taught, and Christ came to make that possible. He really did. And so he's just waiting on you to admit that you're wrong. God is. Once you admit it, you're on your way. Once you go and forgive, that's it. But you must go and forgive so that you can be born of him. That makes sense? Let go of all your ideas and just live. It's not about quoting the Bible and hooping and hollering and carrying on. It's really about just being the light of the world and the salt of the earth and loving one another. Treat your neighbor as yourself. Be honest with the blacks. You know what I mean? Is that too much to ask? And if they get mad, run. And the truth will stay there and you'll be gone, right? But at least you plant the truth. And they'll think about it down there. And never assume that they're never going to get it. Don't assume that. Because the truth is something else. And you don't know who is seeking the truth. Right? So on this Easter Sunday, think about that. Go and forgive. Live in the present. Let your little plan and idea go, and you'll be fine. It'll all work out. All right? That makes sense? It's so simple. Renew the heart. God will renew the heart, and everything else is easy. It'll start to work. And let yourself grow. He will cause you to grow. If you fall down, no big deal. Brush it off and keep going. Stop judging yourself and other people. Live your life. All right? Amazing Easter stuff. Thank you so much. I appreciate you all tuning in, all right? Any announcement, Ernest?
No. We're going to announce let me say this.
Okay.
We have a men's conference that we're doing in August.
Come down here real fast. This is what had all those big words. Nobody knew what it meant.
Good afternoon. We have a men's conference coming up in
This is my
August.
PR guy, Ernest, for those who don't know.
Our 11th annual men's conference, so we had to cancel last year. We're going to do it in Orlando, Florida. We're going to be announcing the details in about a week or so, but I just want to give you guys a heads up. So it's going to be amazing. We're going to have Jesse, speakers, the experts, maybe even Joel, but it'll be great. And Orlando's wide open.
No, we're not.
Orlando's wide open, so the masks and all that is not as required. So
yeah,
just we'll make it available next week or so.
Orlando, Florida, yeah. It's going to be amazing. Because you don't have to wear a mask down there. You don't have to worry about, what's that man name that we're going to kick out of office? We ain't got, You ain't got to worry about Gavin Newsom showing up. So get ready, save your dimes. It's going to be fun, all right? It's going to be amazing. So we're going to let you know more about that. We have a newsletter that we're putting out real soon. So if you're not on our mailing list, I suggest you get on the mailing list and our email list so that you can know what's going on, all right? Make sure you sign up for that. It's in a minute for here, yeah. Don't forget your donations. We definitely appreciate that. We're going to read the super chats tomorrow, right there? Yes. Okay. The super chats tomorrow and your D-Live stuff. Thank you so much. And thank you all. I hope this helped a little bit today. It was amazing. All right? Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.